So today we are here to discuss the topic total quality management. Now what is all about total quality management? It aims at the continuous process improvement. So what it basically aims? It basically aims towards the continuously improvement in the process. So it goes beyond the documenting process with a view to optimizing them through the redesign. Now as we receive the feedback from the customer, so we have to continuously improve or optimize our process in order to achieve the optimization process. So TQM is a philosophy which applies equally to all parts of the organization, whether it is a designing field, whether it is a manufacturing field, whether it's an inspection side, whether it's a quality checking side, whether a product is delivered to the customer. So all part basically applies with the TQM. Now TQM can be viewed as an extension of the traditional approach to the quality. So quality, when we talks about the quality, we are just in a traditional, we just limited up to the quality check of the samples. But in the case of total quality management, it is applicable to the all organization of the industry. Okay, so next point is we have to provide the greater emphasis on the roles and the responsibilities of every member of a staff within an organization to influence the quality. Now, whatever the suggestion received from the staff, it must be inculcated so that organize so that the goal of optimization must be achieved. So, what is the most important point here? Most important point here is to take the inputs from the staff also in order to achieve the quality. Okay. Now, what the total quality is? The total quality is meeting our customer requirement. Now we have to stick to the customer requirement. What the customer want, we have to produce that thing only. And how we have to produce? We have to produce it in right by producing the things right the first time. That means we have to produce the product product right product right at a very first time without any failure. Failure means defects. Okay, so we have to be consistent in our product. uh, for what we have to do the consistency, because we have to reduce our variation. Whenever there exists a variation, so the product quality may be deteriorate. Okay, now the next point is total quality must be enhanced with the continuous improvement. Okay, we have to go for the continuous improvement while involving the redesign in our process, or by taking the input from the staff. But the main fact is we have to improve the quality with the continuous improvement. So from the overall, from the overall quality in everything we do is the total quality. Okay. Now, a quality management system is a belief in the employee's ability to solve the problem. That we have to be believe in the employee so that he can solve the problem. Okay, a belief that the people doing the work are best able to improve it. Okay, we have to make the belief in the people uh, by by taking the factor that he is the one who is doing their work, and he is only the one he can do the best work from it. Okay, next is a belief that everyone is responsible for the quality. Okay, quality management means a belief in the employee ability to solve the problem. Next is a pupil who is performing the work, he must be best in his work, okay, in order to improve the quality. Last one is he will that it's a belief that everyone in the organization must be responsible for the quality. So it is total about the quality management system. Now, most important, we have to talk for the element for the success of implementing TQM. Now, first element for the successful implementation of TQM will be management support, because it is a long-term process which involve all the department in the organization. So the management support will be on the top priority. Okay, mission statement, that whatever we want to deliver, it must be kept in a single line statement, and we must be strict to the quality of that particular product. Okay, that is the mission statement. It's a single line statement. Okay, Next is the proper planning. We have to install the proper planning, because if the planning fails, if the planning fail, whole the process of production may be stopped. So planning must be well equipped and must be well developed in advance. Next is customer and bottom line focus. This is the important part. You have to go for the customer. Next is the measurement. You have to measure your quality, that you achieve the quality or not, which you make some standard. Okay. What the measurement is? Measurement is that you benchmark some quality and you produce the product. Then you have to measure that is your product reach a certain benchmark or not. Next is the empowerment. You have to go for the empowerment exercise also. Next is the teamwork or the effective meetings. Okay, we have to go for the effective meeting in which a fruitful in which a fruitful atmosphere will be provided, so that suggestion from the every member of a team may be inculcate. Okay, next is the continuous process improvement, that we have to go for the improvement in our process continuously. If we stop the process, then it will affect to the continuous improvement in the process. Okay, next is the dedicated resources, that we have to provide the resources which is dedicated in order to take the right thing out. Okay, so these are the some elements which we discuss for the success of the TQM. Now this is the continuous improvement process, that we have to go for the measurement for the each step. That means empowerment means we have to go for the shared leadership. uh, okay, what the shared leadership means? Shared leadership means that decision comes not from the top level, but it also take the decision, or it take the input from the lower staff also. Okay, next is the process improvement. Process improvement means we have to go for the problem solving. For the problem solving, we have to be we have to be make some belief in our employee, so that he will be able in order to solve the complex problem also. Okay, next is the team management. Team management is a very important factor in which we just combine a team in order to carry out a task in a very professional manner. Okay, but the center of all of these activity will be focused to the customer satisfaction. If the customer satisfy, then it will enhance our business, and it will give profit to the business. And each and every step we have to go for the measurement, because with the help of measurement always provide certain inputs in order to improve our process. Okay, now the elements of TQM. Okay, to be successful implementing TQM, an organization must concentrate on the 8 key elements. Now, these are the some elements for the successful implement of a TQM. An organization must be concentrated. First one is the ethics. Ethics means doing right or wrong. Okay. Basically, ethics generally consist of two things. First is the organizational ethics. Organizational ethics means basically we have to establish a business code of ethics that outline the guidelines. Okay, a business code that all the employees are adhere to in the performance of their work. Okay, we have to what we have to do, we have to go for the organizational ethics. In the case of organizational ethics, we have to draw some outlines in which all the employees are adhere. Okay, next type of ethics is the individual ethics. Individual ethics means that personal right or wrong. Okay, next is the integrity, that we have to be work within the certain integrity parameter. Okay, next is the trust. Trust means we have to be trust is the main important point, because without the trust a team cannot be formulate, because without trust every member will play individually, while in performing the implementation of TQM every member must be act like a team. Okay, next is the training. We have to go for the training of our particular employee so that he can give his best. Okay, next is the teamwork. Every people must be comfortable. Every person in that every person must be comfortable in order to do his best. And how can we take his best? by forming the team. So teamwork is also important for the TQM. Next is the leadership. Leadership is something that a person want, because it is it because if a, because if the employee do some wrong thing, so he might be feel securely, because he feel that his or her boss can save us from certain things. So the leadership is very important. Recognition is a very important, because by taking certain idea, we have to recognize the team, as well as we have to recognize the individual also. Okay. Next is the communication. Communication is a very important point, because proper communication must be imparted from the sender to the receiver. If a communication fracture, then whole the process of TQM will be fracture. So the communication process must be, so that communication process must be entertained in the successful implementation of TQM. Okay. Now here we draw a certain parameter of what the customer expect and what the customer perception. Okay. Now if we see, if the customer expectation is greater than the customer perception, then there will be the gap. And if there is a gap, then what it signify? It signify that perceived quality is poor. Okay. Now what now expectation is what? The is expectation is something that a customer wants from the product. Perception is something that when he takes the product and he start using the product, what will be his perception? He is satisfied with the product or not? So if there is a gap between the exception and perception, exception is higher as compared to the perception, then the perceived quality is poor. Okay. If the customer expectation must be equal to the customer perception, then perceived quality is normal. Okay. Now if the customer perception is greater than the customer expectation, then the perceived quality is good. So we have to manage the manage either exception is equal to perception, or exception must be less than as compared to the perception, for the successfully running of our for the successfully installing of our product. Okay. Now what we go for the obstacles to the implement TQM. For the implementing TQM, that is a lack of the commitment from the top management. Okay. Next is the lack of the formalized strategic plan for the change. Next is lack of a customer focus. Okay. Poor inter-organizational communication, lack of employee trust, not using the quality equipment. So these are the some obstacles. Means there is a lack of the commitment from the top management, means the top management may not be interested in order to apply the TQM in all sectors of the organization. Okay. Or there will be the short of some strategic plan in order to implement into the product for the continuous improvement. Okay. Third is that you have produced a product which is lack of the customer focus. Okay. There will be the obstacles. Next is the if the communication is fractured between the sender and receiver, then TQM cannot be applicable. Okay. If there is a fail in the trust between the senior and the junior employee, then there will be the obstacle to the implement TQM. And last is, if you are not using the quality equipment, then what is your problem? Your problem is that you are the lack of the quality. So from this we understand that TQM can be applicable to the all part of the organization. If it is failed, then there is a gap between the expectation and the perception of the product.